allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, we only have one school committee member here, so if no one objects, I'm going to just pass that over. Let the town, start with the town administrator's report.
Okay, thank you. A reminder that tomorrow night at 7 p.m., there is a town meeting. There is one article on the agenda, and that is some end-of-the-year financial transfers. The state has a statute that allows cities and towns at the end of a fiscal year, I'm sorry, just towns, not cities, at the end of a fiscal year, in the last 60 days, to make transfers within the budget, provided that no item exceeds 3% of a particular budget, or $5,000. But we have a couple of items that exceed that. It will not change the tax rate. We do not have a budget deficit or an unbalanced budget, but we do need to make some transfers in order to cover some needs that have developed during the fiscal year. One important one is health insurance costs, which were level funded in the current budget, and health insurance always increases. And secondly, veterans benefits. We've seen, I think I would say, a fairly dramatic increase in the number of returning veterans, and a number of them need assistance. And so we have to make transfers to cover that. I would expect that the town meeting will last 10 minutes, but nevertheless, we're going to have one at the auditorium at 7 p.m. There will also be a town meeting, special town meeting, on the 27th. We have one article, in this case it is a citizen's petition, similar to the citizen's petition that was filed for the annual town meeting, which would provide that the town sewer department take over a pump station at Cook Pond. That was defeated at the annual town meeting, and it has been filed as a citizen's petition, and so we have to have this meeting on the 27th. Again, one article, and that's it. So the school department is not charging us the fee that has been charged recently for the use of the auditorium, so we're going to have minimal expense here for this, but the law requires that we have a town meeting to make these transfers because they, in some cases, are above the limits established in the statute. Also, we are in the process of negotiating a new agreement for cable television. This would be with Comcast, a company that has the current contract, and we need to go through a process to do that. We are in the ascertainment period, and as a result, we're having some hearings on the Monday the 20th. One at 6:30 p.m., where residents are invited to come and offer comments about the cable system and any needs that we see. And then secondly, we're going to have one for municipal department heads and school department officials that afternoon at 2:30 or 2 o'clock. This is part of the process. We have to, in effect, decide what we want in a public process. And then we go to Comcast and conduct the negotiation for a new contract. So Steve just wanted me to remind you of that tonight. We also have a few more end-of-the-year financial transfers. These are within the $5,000 or 3% limit, and they just came up, actually, I was just given copies today, so our town accountant can explain what this is about.
So these are the final things, and as I am learning that it is a revolving issue with the end of the year when you're as closely budgeted as we are this year. The main issue is the annual town meeting, the East Templeton School. I had taken that for transfer funds. I wasn't aware that that came from the community preservation, and those funds have to be returned to them. Any of those that they fund for that, they have to take that money back, or they get that money back. So I need to put that back in that account. Unemployment, it went up. It's still continuing to go up. We're not, Kate is going to have to do some investigating to figure out why that is, but that's the bottom line of what we're short for the end of the year. When I was figuring for the playground on the cemetery expense, I miscalculated. I didn't calculate in his actual bills that he had for the end of the year, and when I calculated that out. For the MEMA, he had bills, and I didn't know about it until 6:30. Again, those monies, I had already taken for transfers, so I have scrimped together, as you can see, the little bits I could to cover that, to return that to him. The diesel fuel, we had a bill from May that we just received that has to be put into this fiscal year, so that then caused that to be over some. Same with the town clerk, just a bill. I don't know what has happened with Staples this particular year, but we've got bills we just got one from November that, no one has let us know about, that this is outstanding until now. So we're trying to catch all of those and get those taken care of. And then the other are just the miscellaneous salary, the final numbers once we did the final payroll. So those are the shortages that we have. And like I said, I pulled the money from all the little bits that are left in the other accounts. And we are square for the end of the year. I have the final vendor warrant right now on my desk that I'm processing, and I think I have 4 items to encumber of bills that they don't have. And that would be all of our bills that we know of as of right now, totally paid for the end of the year. So we shouldn't have any unpaid bills for the November town meeting.
Before you vote, another note. The budget has been voted by the House and the Senate. The Conference Committee budget has been approved, and it has the $85,000 grant restored for the town of Templeton for the playground that was built last fall. And so if the governor does not line item veto this, we've got that money, which is very good news. Speculation this morning was that he won't do that. That it seems as though there are stable financial conditions now, and that there'd be no reason to do this veto. So Senator Goby got this restored in the Senate budget, and it made it through the House budget process and on the governor's desk.
Awesome. So, you need to vote to approve this?
Yeah, you need to do this, and this will go to the advisory board. These are under the threshold, so it doesn't have to go to the town meeting.
Okay. But we need to vote tonight?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Before we do it, any questions,
Yes.
Diane?
How do we not know what bills are out there when we order stuff from, I'm just going to say for an example, because you mentioned Staples. We have an order receipt, but then we don't know that we haven't gotten a bill for that?
The departments have not been keeping track of a lot of those issues that I'm addressing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working, it's a process that we're working on. I think, we're just, a lot of things, with bills and things have not been, looked at as, sufficiently as they should have been. And now we're working on that process to make sure that each department is, making sure that they're, managing the budget amount they're given, keeping track of their amount.
Yeah.
You know, what I've expressed to the department heads is that when I send out a budget versus actual, that's not to tell them where they are. That is for them as a double check. When they say, okay, this is what I have in my account, you get the budget versus actual and it doesn't balance, then you have a question. So that budget versus actual is a double check. It is not for the department heads where the finance office keeps track of where they are with their budget. They're all responsible for that. So we're also working on that process. We have some that are, not doing that presently. So that will be taken care of in this fiscal year.
Real quick, Diana?
I have been fighting for 3 months to get bills from Staples to pay, and we just today got all of our outstanding invoices from Staples. These are going back to January.
Of
They
last
announced-
year?
Pardon me?
January, what month? Sorry, of this year, sorry.
Yeah. They are not sending invoices out in a timely manner.
Have we looked into changing companies?
I would love to change companies.
Well, I mean, it's a big process. There's WB Mason, there's, if they can't keep up with, you can't just send us a bill 6 months later when, we're not private companies.
from Staples, I don't know
All right.
why.
It's-
So,
it's-
People lie. Just ask. It was just an example, so if
Yeah.
there's other
You know,
stuff.
All right,
Staples is horrible.
it's 6:45. We have to have a public hearing at 7, so I would like to table this for now, and let's take care of the Monty Tech School Committee issue, and then we'll come back to this after the public hearing.
Do you have any additional questions for me? I need to leave, so I just wanted to see if you had any additional before I left.
That's the only question I have.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will call the joint meeting to order. First thing I want to do is recognize the chair of the Monty Tech School Committee, Barbara Reynolds, who is with us tonight. And we also have Mary Barclay. We have anybody else from the Monty Tech Committee? Jim Gilbert. All right, what we'll do is, Hal, you want to make a quick statement? And then we'll go to Jim, and then we'll ask people for their comments, okay?
Okay. I've applied for the position, having taught at Monty Tech for 30 years, having been a member of the Narragansett School Committee and chairman of the Narragansett School Committee quite a while ago. I would like to make further use of what I know about education and my feelings on education. I am firmly behind Monty Tech. Excuse me. Otherwise, I would not have spent 30 years, half of my entire working career with them. And I hope to be able to serve Monty Tech and the town of Templeton in the future.
Thank you. Jim? Jim Gilbert is the incumbent.
My name is Jim Gilbert. I live on Shady Lane. I've been the rep for a little over 5 years now. I came in at the end of a unexpired term, former committee rep, and I was reappointed in 2011. I'm a graduate of Monty Tech in '79. I married a graduate from Monty Tech in '80. She wanted me to make sure that I told her it was 80 because she's younger than me. I have 4 children. All 4 went through different grades here in Gansett, the public school system. 3 of them, my youngest 3, are all graduates or are currently attending Monty Tech. I have a son that graduated last year from electrical, currently employed in his trade right here in Gardner, Page Electric. My daughter's going to be a senior this year. She's also in electrical. She just started her co-op job last week with Griffin Electrical, a big contractor out of Marlboro. And my youngest son is in electrical, and he's going to be a sophomore. I've enjoyed serving as your rep for Monty Tech, for Templeton. I thought it was instrumental, a couple of the keynote issues that I addressed. School resource officer, that was a big item in my agenda to get the school resource officer. I know Gansett has had a resource officer for years. Fitchburg, I work in Fitchburg, city of Fitchburg, and I see the good work that they do with school resource officers. Also, I've served on several committees. I'm currently the vice chair of our policy subcommittee. I'm on the ad hoc subcommittee for looking into new council legal representation for the school committee. I've served on the capital improvements subcommittee and also the strategy committee. I would enjoy doing another 4 years, especially I have 2 kids still in the school system. I love Monty Tech. I loved how they made the transformation from when I attended in the 70s, and testament is the waiting list that we have. And I know that's with the sending communities, that's an issue with how we admit students. But I would love to be reappointed for another 4 years to serve the students here at Templeton.
All right, does anybody on the committee have any questions of either of you?
Actually, I do. I will not question the candidates, but I'd just like the record to show I do not do legal work for Monty Tech, but one of my brothers at the law firm does, so I'm going to recuse myself from the rest of the discussion.
Okay. There were no questions from the committee. Real quickly, could we have anybody wish to make a statement or?
Sure.
Ms. Ryan?
Barbara Reynolds, and thank you very much for addressing me. I just wanted to say that I wrote a letter, this afterwards, to endorse Jim Gilbert for reappointment as Templeton representative on the Monty Tech Technical Vocational School Committee. Jim's been a very active member and serves on several committees, as he mentioned, including the policy, which he's been very instrumental due to his legal knowledge, and so that's helped us a great deal. Jim has brought new ideas to the committee and a refreshing way of thinking based on his background. Jim has a vested interest in the school, as he mentioned, in the right direction for the children. Has the 2 children currently and 1 that graduated. Above all, Jim has shown integrity, and any of his decisions are based on what is best for the students. Short and sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I support it.
Anyone else have any? Mary Barkley?
I wasn't smart enough to keep a copy of my letter, which I gave to each of you. If one of you would like to read it out loud on my behalf, I would be happy to have you do so.
I'll do that if you want.
Thank you.
This is to the Board of Selectmen, members of the board. By way of introduction, I am Royalston's representative to the Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School, beginning my 17th year of service this month. I wish to express my support for James M. Gilbert's reappointment as your representative to Monty Tech. Mr. Gilbert is a fully engaged, up-to-speed member of Monty Tech's school committee and indicates he would like to continue as Templeton's representative. He attends regularly. He chooses to come late from other commitments rather than miss a meeting. He and I do not always agree, but I am always eager to hear what he has to contribute, because he is obviously committed to see that students are first and foremost safe, then well-educated, and close behind that, given every possible opportunity for exceptional educational experiences both in and out of school. In addition to other duties, Mr. Gilbert is my vice chair for the policy subcommittee. This is one of the key 3 areas for which school committee members have authority: hiring, firing, the superintendent, director, and finance are other key areas under education reform. Mr. Gilbert is an important contributor to the subcommittee, often accepting time-consuming tasks such as realigning all of our policies dealing with tobacco, drugs and alcohol, ensuring they reflect both current laws and current practices at the school. In addition, he does his homework and comes to meetings well prepared to discuss, debate, and document policies. He is a gentleman, he is polite, but he is no pushover. He will argue till the cows come home if he believes we are not doing the right thing. Such a Templeton. That's really good. He protects the interest of all of Monty Tech's plus or minus 1,450 students. He also protects Templeton's interest in your vocational technical school district. I feel he is an excellent representative on Monty Tech School Committee, and for both magnanimous and rather selfish reasons, see above how much he does on my policy subcommittee, I would be very sad if he was not reappointed. I hope you will consider his outstanding track record on the committee and then vote to reappoint James M. Gilbert for another term as Templeton's representative to the Montezut Regional Vocational Technical School District. Sincerely, Mary C. Peavy. Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Do we have any other discussion? Mrs. Van Salat.
I retired from Monty Tech 2 years ago and worked for the superintendent for 23 years, as well as for the school committee. I cannot say enough about Mr. Gilbert. He has a vested interest in the town as well as the school, and it is without any thoughts that I highly recommend Jim to reappoint as the Monty Tech.
Thank you. Other discussion? All right, we will take a roll call vote. And Mrs. Masson, as a school committee member, has a vote. So why don't we start with you, Lori?
Do I need to make a motion or
No.
just a vote? Okay. I would vote for Mr. Gilbert.
Okay. Diane?
Mr. Gilbert?
Doug?
I would also vote for Mr. Gilbert.
Julie?
As well as Mr.
Right.
Gilbert.
And I will as well. The vote is unanimous. Congratulations, Jim. Thank you. Go see the town clerk and get yourself sworn in. And thank you, Al, for showing the interest to come and present yourself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a new reporter tonight? And who are you?
My name is Rebecca Leonard.
Rebecca, nice to meet you.
I'll be doing the reporting for Templeton from now on.
All right. Now on, forever and ever?
Forever and ever. Well, yeah.
It's nice to have you here. All right. What can we do for 4 minutes?
I didn't have any other questions, and if we didn't, do we just need a motion to vote on that?
We can, if there's no further discussion.
Is there any more discussion?
Any further discussion on the transfers presented by the town accountant?
Do you want me to make a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve these transfers.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. The vote is unanimous. Now, how many of these do we need to have signed?
Just one.
Just one? Yeah.
I think that only used up 60 seconds.
Did you pay the no tags? That's black. So that's in blue.
There you go.
All right, do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Julie?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. We will declare the hearing open. This is for a public hearing on the alteration of premises for the liquor license at Candlelight. And we took this up a few weeks ago, and we have an explanation of why we're doing it again
Yes,
tonight.
when they sent out the notices, they were supposed to be sent out certified, but it wasn't quite clear. And we figured out, when we went to send everything in, that they had to have the receipts to make sure that everyone got it. And the Board of Selectmen is also responsible for making sure the public hearing is done correctly, so we wanted to make sure it was. So we had to hold it again, send them out certified mail. We made sure that was done this time, just to kind of vote again and make sure it was done right.
Okay.
I don't know if any of butters or...
Well, I was going to say, before we take the vote again, is there anyone here to speak in favor of the alteration of the license?
Yeah, I am.
And you, sir,
My name is Carl Votilla. I've lived in the town of Templeton for 53 years, a good friend of Tim's. He's the owner and general manager. They have done an excellent job. I grew up here and I'm disabled. They have handicap, they take care of everybody. They want the best for all their patrons. He's given me rides, he's given everybody, make sure everybody's safe. If there's any kind of problems, he immediately goes at it. And I think that it would be, he has a nice establishment where, you know, you can socialize. It's just a really nice, fun place to be. And he wants to, you know, go outside and there's the pond and do good things for us. And I think he does a nice job with it so far. And he's really been outstanding. I can't believe how nice it is. I mean, I think more people should go there. And I think that it would be an unjust if it didn't get a favorable vote. Thank you.
and is it Tim?
Yes.
Tim, your last name again?
Garen.
Okay, Tim, has there been any changes at all since, no? Chief, nothing's changed with you, you're happy with this?
Yes, as we spoke before,
Yeah.
it's a process.
Yeah.
You're gonna vote for him to go forward with the process. The ABCC is pretty much gonna tell him what he has to do to comply.
Okay.
Like I said, having experience with it, I believe he's gonna have to fully enclose the area by fencing so that none of the alcoholic beverages can go into the public parking lot or anything like that. They can't leave. The ABCC comes out and he really has to jump through the hoops in order to get this extended license.
Okay, anyone here opposed? No? Anyone on the board have any questions of anybody? If none, can we have a motion to approve this again?
So moved. I make a motion to approve
He's already
the...
made, Ken's already made the motion.
Oh, did I not hear that? Oh, I'm sorry. Second.
Second, okay.
I totally missed that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Diane?
Yes?
Doug?
Yes?
Ken?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Unanimous. So now we're all set with, okay, and we will get this submitted. Okay. So we apologize for any delay that caused you, but as far as we're concerned, you're good. And like the chief says, it's up to the ABCC. All right?
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to close the hearing. So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to close the hearing. Julie?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the hearing is closed. Now,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry?
We did that last time, so we have to vote.
Now we have to vote again.
After the
Not the
hearing's
license,
closed.
after the
We
vote.
gotta
we
vote
have to vote.
Yeah, because we should have
just
waited
to make sure all
until after.
the loose ends.
Okay,
So we'll vote again. I will.
make your motion again.
I'll make a motion to approve the alteration of premises for liquor license to include the outdoor area for candle lighting.
That's a second. You second? Okay. Moved and seconded? Julie?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, so it's unanimous again. Anything at all? All right, gentlemen, thank you for coming. Chief Bennett. What's that?
Should we let Doc finish the town administrator report?
Okay, all right, why don't we do that? Talk me in.
Okay.
Okay, we got through the transfers. Where are we at now?
Okay, want me to continue?
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, okay. There was a meeting today here with school department officials, the new interim superintendent, Dr. Heeman, and Mr. Wakefield, to discuss the new contract with Comcast, and in particular, the needs of the schools and how the schools might benefit from an education channel in addition to the government channel that we currently have, which we can get into the contract with Comcast, as well as to discuss how students might benefit from instruction and how to use the equipment and forward those who have interested in careers in this area. So, it was a very good meeting. Steve Castle was there, and the consultant from Attorney Solomon, and we're in this ascertainment process, as I said, and it's going to go on for another week or so that we will be well prepared to communicate to Comcast what the needs of the town are and what we would do under a new contract to expand services to residents, and in this case, particularly the students at the regional school system. And in connection with that, you probably all know Dr. Heeman, but he's here just to say a few words to you, so I'll turn it over to him.
Dr. Heeman.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, it's nice to be back. For those of you who know, I was superintendent from 2000-2008, and Mr. Columbus was on the committee and at least chairman for...
Dr. Heeman, would you mind coming up here and talking to the microphone so that the people at home could hear you?
That would be a great thing. As I was saying, I was superintendent in 2008, and Mr. Columbus was on the committee. All 8 years that I was here, chairman at least 4 of them, John, I think. And
Something like that.
enjoyed very much working with you, John. So I'm very happy to be back for this year. I'm only here for 1 year. The school committee will be dealing, starting this fall, of looking for a new superintendent. Also, obviously, the other one will be dealing with the new elementary school that we're going to be doing the big things. We just had a building committee, and Ryan was there with us, and we're looking at maybe the building committee talked about having the debt vote sometime in November, or maybe December town meeting. So I think it's going to behoove the board and all the district people vote saying they want the school to go through with that. It's going to be selling why do we need that school, and again, people understanding the issues that this is the end of the line with school building authority. If it doesn't pass at this point, it'll be a long time before we get back into the program. So we're also going to try to have some open houses so people can see the schools and understand what we're trying to do, and from the architects and drawings so people can then understand as well as the financials. So we're going to be working heavily on that for that piece that we're doing, working with you people. I would suggest you might want to have meetings and presentations from the architects and the people so they understand what the buildings are. That way the press can report on it and not violate any campaign finance laws. We will also have materials that people requested so we can see what's going on with that. The other piece that we're talking about now with the cable, I'm going to be talking with the school committee on Monday, the school committee meeting Monday, about how they want to proceed with that. I'm very much in favor as much as we can get another channel, as well as equipment and materials for students to learn on that program. We're having a problem right now, the teacher that was teaching is retired, and we're having a problem finding somebody that can teach like 1 or 2 classes. It's not a full schedule, and that's our major problem, so trying to find people who can do teaching with that. I appreciate the meeting today with Bob and with Steve Castle and the consultant and Mike Wakefield was there. So again, I think this is going to be important to take a look at this. It's a 10-year contract in my career, so it's now in the middle for 10 years. So I'm looking forward to that. So I want to come by to say hello to you so you know I am here for a year. He's back, he says. And also, again, talk about the cable and then about the school, so we'll be really working on that today. I think I've met all of you, Doug, I've known for years, and I met at graduation, Ken, and Julie, it's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. With that one, so, working out, I've been only since, today's 12, 13 days as a superintendent. You see my desk now, it's got stuff that we do. but I'm enjoying it. I'd like to be there.
You don't have everything all taken care of by now, back then?
Yeah, John, we're still figuring out where we are, money and for this year and trying to plan next year, so not with that one, so. But I'm really happy, I understand that the board here has been behind that school, and I appreciate that very much. I think that's one of the things we have to do. Well, when we came in, we were last month into Boston, we met with MSBA. I don't know if you've given them, we had a whiny sheet of that they sent us, that we're having to deal with, a whole page of stuff that we're having to deal with, the questions that they want. So I might leave some copies that you can give the board, I'll leave some copies that you can give them, so they know where we're working with the architects and the OPM on that, so we're doing all of those things. So let me just give this to you, so you can have these. So they can see.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So we're working with them on questions in the MSBA requirements, certain things that we have to respond to, the education plan, as well as other technical aspects between the schools and the architects and OPM. With that, any questions or comments or?
I just thought for a long time that it would be great having a dedicated channel at the school district. I think it opens up a ton of possibilities.
I do too, Jim. But I gotta talk to the school committee first, make sure we're on the same page and everything. I think we are talking to several of them, so, yeah, I'm looking to have the two. And then also the fact is where you're gonna be able to put a station. I think there's some limitations we talked about at the Kiva, but it could be someplace where we can be teaching the kids. I mean, it's a lot of directing with Steve Castle and enjoyed putting back with Steve. We did a number of years ago when I was here doing stuff together. So definitely appreciate that. Sometimes your kids, I mean, kids can find a purpose, like especially they went to an event and they're taping it, and then they're coming back and actually digitizing it, but actually making it so they can show it out.
Steve, do you have anything you wanted to?
I'd just say that we're glad to work with the school in any way possible, whether we can get a dedicated station or share the one we have, or share the facilities at the Kiva in some way, that'd be great. And I think we also talked about the possibility of using our existing facility if we decide to renovate that, possibly. I don't want to jump the gun because I know Steve, you've got to talk to the school committee, but possibly for a program that students could intern on. And I also talked to the gentleman from Phillipston today, and he's excited about moving forward as well with something with the school. So we'll pull it all together.
And we also talked about equipping the auditorium so that we could broadcast town meetings.
Yeah, that would be great.
That was challenges there,
Yeah.
lighting in particular.
Oh, yeah.
No, it would be nice if people that can't make a town meeting can they see what's going on. And you also have a record, nice record.
Yeah, right.
We are talking with a firm that can help tie in a live broadcast feed even without putting in a lot of extra cameras, so we can do it right from a mobile kit. We may want to hold off until after the contract with that because we may want to negotiate with Comcast to get certain equipment to help us broadcast that digitally. Because right now they have to convert from analog to digital, back to analog, and there's going to be a lot of conversion involved with the present setup. So we could get that done this year, and it would be best to see what we can get from Comcast. And then possibly add more cameras in.
Okay, what's the next step in the process? We have the public hearing next week, correct?
Yes.
Two.
Public hearings, and hopefully end ascertainment soon and put out an RFP that Bill Solomon and the consultants are helping us with, and then the fund negotiations begin.
All right. Anything else, Dr. Dan?
No, I'm fine. Looking forward to working with you this coming year. You only stuck with me for a year, so that's, yeah, for the year, so. Again,
You don't have to retrain me.
Yeah, thank you, John. Well, thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Thank you for coming.
Steve, welcome back.
Nice seeing you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
See you.
All right,
Okay, I can go through the other items here. Have appointed Paul Blanchard as alternate building commissioner. Under our rules, you don't have to confirm that, but if you wanted to offer comments or confirm it, I just wanted to make you aware that he would be available in the event that Mr. Hanks somehow can't be available. So, back up.
Did Mr. Hanks recommend this person, or?
Yes, yes. Actually, I interviewed him for the position that Hanks has, but he was unwilling to leave his current employer. So, also, we are in the process of recruiting a health insurance agent, meeting with the chair of the health board soon. I'll give you more information about that in the exec session. I've interviewed one candidate, promising, and we're hoping that the ad will produce some others. Collective bargaining update in the exec session. We had a town employee in the highway department resign today. Problem there is that this is the time when the highway department has to accomplish a lot of work. This is the construction season. They're now down to 5 employees. So I know that you like to know when we're going to be trying to bring on a new employee, and we'd like to do that as soon as possible, because if we waited the period of a month to replace the employee who resigned, and that would be the normal process, because this individual has several weeks vacation. 4 weeks vacation coming, so we'll not go off the payroll until this time next month. So we're going to lose some important time here to get things done. So it's my opinion that we should go out and do the recruiting and address any shortage in the budget at the annual town meeting next spring. It'll be a minimal amount, it'll be a small amount. I think the work is more important than, at this point, than having ensure that we don't have to do a transfer. But,
yeah, let's do that. Get as much done as we can while we can do it.
Have we approved any roads to be done or not done this year?
We don't approve.
Yes, Chapter 90 funds?
we have Chapter 90 funds, yes.
But usually Bud comes to us with a street list, but we haven't done that, correct? Did I forget something?
No, he has given us a list of the streets that we would like to do with Chapter 90 money. We have not made a decision on any expenditure from Chapter 90 for the rubber-tired excavator. We have already approved taking $130,000 from Chapter 90 to begin the engineering process for Royalston Road. And that's where it stands right now.
Can I see that list of roads again? I don't remember getting
I
that.
don't remember seeing the list of roads.
You don't, do you either?
Oh, no.
I just,
The discussion we had was the excavator, and...
right, and we never saw anything else
There
because...
wouldn't be any money left to do those.
I was waiting until the purchase of the excavator to see what money was left, maybe?
Okay, so can we have an update on the next agenda as to what he's looked at for equipment? And I would still like to see a list of the roads that were possibly going to be done. Please and thank you.
And Diane, I can let you know that I did meet with him as well back on 6/22/15, and I got a 10-year paving plan update from
It's a 10-year.
from him, so if I can make this available as well. I mean,
I think we've seen that.
he doesn't have anything
You
for
did
this
get a
year,
copy
but
of
this
that.
year,
But it's
the 10-year one is,
not prioritized for this year.
there's not anything out there.
No.
Yeah, this particular year.
I just don't remember seeing that, sorry.
All right, okay.
We've gone through
We've gone astray here from town employee resignation.
Correct.
Well, because we were talking about the highway department, so...
Get back on track.
Okay. Police and fire injured on duty insurance. We went out to look at the bids for that, and that is separate from general insurance. It's a separate policy with a separate company. town has always used Chubb. I was familiar with VFIS, which is in Providence, and they represent a lot of communities now, and we asked for them for a bid. And it's a different concept, but it is both better for the town as well as better for police and fire employees as well. Current policy that we have provides a benefit for medical expenses of $50,000. Now, you can use that up in a couple days if you're severely injured. The new policy will have a $1 million benefit, and that really is very much in the interest of any policeman or firefighter who gets injured. The new concept is that the town has to pay the first $30,000 of any kind of outlay. However, when we set aside money, the benefit here is that our current policy is $60,000. The new policy will be $25,000. Set aside 30, and we're still $5,000 to the good if we use all 30,000. I've had experience with the company and that concept, and we're likely to use some of that, but we're likely to realize a budget savings for the town. I think which would be fairly significant, much beyond the $5,000 that it would be if we consumed the entire deductible amount. So we had a meeting today to explain that. Fire chief had another appointment, but police chief was there, and the Gowie group, who are the insurance brokers, were there to explain the policy to me and to the staff people who will be implementing it. And so I think we'll see results there. I think we'll see some additional savings in the 16 budget, and certainly I think a much better program for any firefighter or police officer who gets injured.
Chief, you got anything you want to add to that?
I was rather impressed by the presentation. Very knowledgeable. Everyone in their office has worked in the public safety field, either in law enforcement or fire. They seem to work a lot with, unlike our other policy from what I can take, is that they actually go out and fight for the town's payments. So instead of just taking a bill in and accepting that bill for face value, they actually negotiate it down to mass health rates, in most cases except for doctors, because as they say, you want to have the best doctors working. It seemed like they put out a very good product.
I know you weren't there, Chief, but anything you want to?
No, I've had experience with VFIS in the past, and I speak highly of them as well.
Okay, next item, swimming lessons next week. Just pass this along. The Recreation Committee wanted to announce that. Actually, they wanted to give me permission to do it. I don't think I have to give them permission since they have the money in the budget for that purpose. They can go ahead with it, but we'll sign the letter. But we're going to have a swim program starting up on July 20th and lasting until August the 14th. August the 14th. Also, I brought this along. You can look at it, and I'll talk to you after in the exec session about the tree situation in town. We have some shade trees on town property that are very much in need of attention. We did put money in the town budget this year for a tree warden, and I want to talk to you about moving forward with an appointment on that, but there are some issues there that require executive session. And then lastly, selectmen goals. We need to focus on that at some point, and particularly at the beginning of the fiscal year, I think we need to set up some larger goals for the town as defined by the elected representatives here, and so we can get to work on it. We also need to close the warrant tonight for the July 27th meeting At this point, we have one citizen's petition. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any comments on the goals as presented?
I had talked to Bob about continuing the work on the new town hall to fix the driveway right here at the end. It's difficult coming in, period, so to just add that to the continued work.
And the steps we talked about.
Oh, and the steps
About
too, yes,
steps.
thank you, yes, those two things. I also have, I don't know, sick time issue?
I think we could put together
Sick time issue, I don't,
Yes.
is that part of this?
No.
Okay.
I think we can include those items under the continuing work on.
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying, but they're not there, so I would like to add them.
Unless there's no objection. I think they're, things that we definitely need to do, the egress here at 30.
Right.
I think that if you look at the top three goals, we're making a lot of progress in professionalizing and solidifying town government. I would like to put off the charter commission till possibly next year. I think we need some more time to do what we're doing and get the town in a better place before we undertake that. Anyone else have any comments? Any wisdom to share?
Me, no.
All right. Any further discussion on this? If not, we'll move on. All right. We have a special presentation here tonight. Our police chief, Michael Brenner, has been awarded the prestigious Trilogy Award from the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association. The Trilogy Award is given to officers who have successfully completed FBI Leaders Supervisor Leadership Institute, Command Leadership Institute, and Executive Leadership Institute, which includes more than 120 hours of training. The Supervisor Leadership Institute is a cutting-edge program built especially for first-time supervisors and middle managers with the goal of enhancing leadership competencies. Attendees engage in personality diagnostic, leadership case studies, mentoring, developing people, performance management, risk management, and leadership legacy. The Command Leadership Institute for law enforcement executives is an intensive and challenging program, specifically and uniquely designed to prepare law enforcement leaders for command-level positions. The Executive Leadership Institute is an innovative program designed for senior law enforcement executives focusing on emerging challenges facing the profession. The course looks to identify the forces of change and emerging trends in the law. So, Chief, if you want to come up here, we have a little something for you. You ready, Rebecca? Chief, congratulations. Thank you. And obviously, you have to put a lot of work into that, and we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. I always try to improve on myself, I definitely don't know everything, and I'm always learning every day. So this is one step in the right direction. I want to thank you for your support. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Chief Bennett, Dr. Henry's been here. We have contracts to sign?
We do. Committee ones?
I'm going to recuse myself. Three of them, I guess.
All right, Holly, and these are contracts for,
These are the ones that they brought last week,
okay.
the last meeting, sorry.
Sorry.
And you guys want some time to look over the electronic versions that I
Okay.
sent.
Well, before we sign on the dotted line, does anyone have any comments or questions? Okay. So these are for the elementary school amendment on number 5, schematic design. And there are 3 copies. So, we have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve these contracts. Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, the vote is unanimous. So,
Holly, are you gonna send John Winiker? He asked me
What,
today.
Send them.
They're, well, they're, yeah. I think they need the originals, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
He just said,
I'll
you
email it
guys,
to them too.
you know,
okay, so
just 'cause they're so.
I don't see where we all have to sign. I think that
I didn't know.
it's just, I can sign on behalf of it. Have you looked at these, if you would mind amending your motion to authorize me to sign on behalf of the committee?
I make a motion that we authorize the chairman of the board to sign the contract with SMMA.
Have a second?
Second.
All right, Diane?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, so that is unanimous. And, all right, so that's done. We have Sandra Wharton in here.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
You can come back.
So I just wanted to come here today and introduce myself to the board. My name is actually Sonia Wortman, and I am the program coordinator for the Montechusett Opportunity Council Community Partnership for Children here in town. We are state funded through the Department of Education and Care. We received this grant back in about May of last year. I've spent the last year really focusing on working on getting some community involvement within my program located on 12 Elm Street in Baldwinville, where I do a variety of services for resources and referrals for children and families for the town of Templeton. We do community-based playgroups where those have been going very well. I have families that come from Gardner, Baldwinville, Templeton, Winchendon, Fitchburg, Hubbardston. They actually come to these playgroups once a week. I have an average of about 8 families, about 15 children each week. They do vary. So it's been a really nice way to kind of get to know some of the children and families in the community. And now that I've been in there for about a year, I really want to be branching out and bringing awareness to the programs that we have to offer while also getting to know the town a little bit better. I hear word of some of the great things that are happening here in the town, and I really just want to make sure that I'm seen as a community member and that I'm here to kind of help out in any way we can. One of the ways that I like to look at the program is kind of we're a tree. So we basically have our lead agency, which is Montechusett Opportunity Council, as many of you are aware of the programs and services that they provide. So underneath their child care and Head Start services is where we fall, which is technically the Coordinated Family Community Engagement Program, and that's where we receive our funding. With that funding is how we do our community-based playgroups. I've also done some other community events in the area, such as puppet shows. I hired a Zumini instructor to do some toddler dance classes for fun. I've recently collaborated with the Historical Society so that I can be involved in some of their community-based events, such as their Go Fly a Kite event that's happening at the end of August. I'm looking forward to their Pumpkin Fest that they'll be doing. And just I really want to be a presence there and see how I can engage children and families in some of the events that are already happening in the area. And we really just focus on empowering parents as their child's first, most important teacher and role model. So other than the community-based events that we do, and the resources and referrals to programs such as WIC, DTA, transitional assistance, and food stamps, we also do parent-child program, home visiting program, which is